October 20th, beginning our day. I was reminded recently of a teaching of Luang Por Chah that on the surface it can sound a little bit harsh, but it actually is kind of illustrating the final truth, or the core, the essence of the Buddha's teaching. And also it kind of illustrates the difference between the worldly mind and the mind that has Dhamma. And that is, it's related by Ajahn, where he was a junior monk and sitting next to Luang Por Chah. He was his upatak, and Luang Por Chah got offered a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice, and Ajahn looking at it thinking, oh, that'd be so nice. So nice if he just gave that to me. It'd be so nice to kind of drink that, and it has all these vitamins in it. It'd be so healthy and it would taste so good. And as he was thinking this, Ajahn Chah turned to him and said, "Wanting is death." That's I think that's a very profound teaching, because we might, in our kind of, I think in most versions of New Age spirituality, say, well, it's not that bad. It's if you have desires, just moderation. But in terms of the Four Noble Truths, wanting or tanha, it's actually it is what causes birth and death. It is death. So if we want the deathless, then we do have to look into this. And the mind that has wanting is the mind that is still sowing the seeds for future birth and death. So this is something, it's really at the core of what we want to be reflecting on. And it's one of the difficulties of practice, but it's also something that we use as reflection, contemplation, look into. It's similar to another teaching of Ajahn Chah, where he said when you practice, it's like somebody is like giving you a nice plate of food, but then they say there's poison in this. And so it'll taste really good, and yet if you eat it, then you'll die. So, and then there's that choice there. So to start to relate to wanting or craving in the same way, that holding the mind in the way of craving and continuing to follow craving without reflecting on it, without being mindful of it, then that's just sowing the seeds for future birth and death. And then on the flip side of that, the cultivation of mindfulness and reflection and extracting the heart from the world of wanting and craving, then that's leading toward the deathless. So that's what's truly desirable. It's not that, so when we talk about wanting, this is more around the realm of sensuality. We do need to want the Dhamma. We do need to want to get to our destination. But that's a different type of wanting. That's more like chanda. That's the fire for virtue, the fire for practice. That's not the wanting Ajahn Chah is talking about to Ajahn. So it's something worth reflecting on. And also there's the wanting that Ajahn Chah was warning about, is that it's a wanting that doesn't have an end. So by its very nature, that type of wanting, it doesn't ever go away by being fulfilled. So when it's fulfilled, it actually doesn't. The nature of wanting is to want. The nature of craving is to crave. So the craving doesn't go away by being fulfilled by what it's telling us it needs. It just, that the root of it is still there. So it's just going to divert the attention to another object of craving. So the roots are still there. And they're very deeply embedded. And so it's day after day we look into these things and slowly start to do the painful process of extracting the roots, extracting these roots from the heart, these unwholesome roots. And we can reflect on that, see how our mind picks things up during the work period, during the normal part of the day when we're not engaged in formal meditation. Then we can see how the mind is engaged in this process. And we can engage it in a different way. We can engage it more in the way of Dhamma, but it has to be a very conscious effort and a conscious decision. So reflection this morning.